Formula One is buzzing with one of the most shocking behind-the-scenes stories we've heard in years. Imagine this. Christian Horner, the mastermind who turned Red Bull Racing into the most dominant force of the modern era, could soon be running Aston Martin. Yes, the same Aston Martin that has been pouring hundreds of millions into its facilities, chasing a dream of becoming world champions. What started as quiet paddock whispers has grown into something much bigger, and if it happens, it could completely shift the balance of power in Formula One. The spark for all this came earlier this year when Horner stepped down as Red Bull's team principal after an internal investigation. Sure, he kept an advisory role with Red Bull's parent company, but everyone who knows him well says the same thing. He's not the kind of person to sit quietly on the sidelines. This is a man who's lived and breathed F1 for nearly 2 decades, and that competitive fire doesn't just switch off. His record is almost unmatched. 6 Constructors' Championships, 8 Drivers' Championships with Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen, and a reputation for building teams that stay at the top for years. Now, you can see why Aston Martin owner Lawrence Stroll is interested. Stroll has made no secret of his ambitions. He wants Aston Martin to be fighting for championships, and he's willing to spend big to make it happen. But despite all the investment in world-class facilities and technical staff, the results on track have been up and down. For Stroll, Horner isn't just another hire. He's the final piece of the puzzle, the kind of leader who can not only manage the technical side, but also handle the intense pressure and politics at the very top. So here's the big question for you. Do you think Horner would really walk away from Red Bull's legacy to try and build something new at Aston Martin? Let me know in the comments if you think this is just wild rumor or real power play. And if you want to keep up with every twist in this story before the headlines hit, subscribe to our channel and enable the notification bell. Your subscription is very important to us. Help us grow and reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Lawrence Stroll is not the type of Formula One team owner who's happy to just make up the numbers. Since taking over what was then Racing Point and rebranding it as Aston Martin, he's been on a mission to transform the team into a championship contender. And when I say on a mission, I mean he's gone all in. We're talking hundreds of millions poured into a state-of-the-art factory in Silverstone, a cutting-edge wind tunnel, and simulator facilities that match, or even surpass, the sport's elite teams. On paper, the team looks like it should be fighting at the front. Stroll has also gone after big technical names, bringing in talent from Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari. People like Adrian Newey, Andy Cowell, and Enrico Cardile have been linked or signed. All of this screams ambition. But here's the problem. The results haven't matched the investment. Aston Martin has had flashes of brilliance, sure, but it hasn't been consistent enough to put fear into Red Bull, Mercedes, or McLaren week in and week out. And that's where the frustration is starting to boil over. Stroll is known for expecting a return on his investment, and quickly. According to people inside the team, he's been getting more and more hands-on lately, questioning strategies, pushing for faster development, and making his presence felt in a way that puts pressure on the current leadership. The thing is, without a strong figure at the very top to balance that intensity, it risks creating instability. That's why someone like Horner is so appealing to him. Horner has spent years dealing with powerful personalities, from the late Dietrich Mateschitz at Red Bull to managing the egos of star drivers. He knows how to push back when needed, but also how to channel ambition into results. For Stroll, that's exactly what's missing right now. Someone with the authority and the track record to lead the team without being overwhelmed by the weight of expectation. Now, I want to throw this question to you. Do you think Stroll's aggressive, high-pressure approach will speed up Aston Martin's rise, or could it actually hold them back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to keep following these insider moves before they become official news, make sure you're subscribed. Your subscription really helps us grow and reach that 1,000 subscriber milestone. What really sets this story apart from the usual silly season rumors is the number of private meetings that have actually taken place between Christian Horner and Lawrence Stroll. This isn't just casual paddock gossip anymore. It's starting to look like a carefully planned operation. The first whispers started when the two were spotted deep in conversation aboard Stroll's yacht during the Monaco Grand Prix weekend. At the time, it could have been dismissed as a friendly chat between the big names in the sport. But since then, things have escalated. Multiple sources say Horner and Stroll have met at least 3 times in the past month. One meeting reportedly happened at Stroll's home in Geneva, with senior Aston Martin shareholders also in the room, and that tells you this isn't just about swapping ideas over coffee. Then came the most telling sign yet: Horner visiting Aston Martin's Silverstone headquarters. Officially, it was described as a facility tour. Unofficially, paddock insiders say Horner spent hours behind closed doors with key technical staff, reviewing the team's current car program and even discussing plans for 2026. That's not small talk, that's due diligence. And here's where it gets really interesting. This might not be a simple job offer. Reports suggest Horner is negotiating for an equity stake in Aston Martin, similar to Toto Wolff's arrangement at Mercedes. That means he wouldn't just be an employee, he'd be a part owner with a vested interest in the team's long-term value and success. For Stroll, that's an appealing proposition. Having Horner think like an owner could align their visions perfectly, and it would guarantee full commitment to the project. But there's a twist in this deal that F1 fans can't ignore: the driver lineup. Full control for Horner would mean he could make tough decisions without politics getting in the way. Would Lance Stroll's seat still be safe if performance didn't match the ambition? Would Fernando Alonso stay on board for another shot at glory? These are questions that could define the future of the team. So let's get your take. If Horner had complete control at Aston Martin, should he keep Lance Stroll or replace him? Leave your vote in the comments, and remember to subscribe so you're here when we break the next piece of this story. Your subscription is key to helping us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers and keeping the Fast News F1 community growing. If the idea of Christian Horner running Aston Martin wasn't enough to shake the Formula One world, add this: Adrian Newey could be part of the package. For anyone new to the sport, Newey is widely regarded as the greatest technical mind F1 has ever seen. His designs have won championships with multiple teams, and his influence at Red Bull has been nothing short of legendary. Earlier this year, he confirmed his departure from Red Bull, and since then, speculation about his next move has been relentless. Now, here's where things get really spicy. Horner and Newey share a working relationship that's rare in F1, a genuine mutual trust that allowed Newey to focus purely on the car without being bogged down by politics. Together, they built an environment at Red Bull where technical innovation thrived. Reuniting at Aston Martin could give both men the perfect platform to challenge the current order, especially with the new 2026 regulations, bringing a fresh slate to the sport. Think about it. Aston Martin already has the facilities, the new Silverstone campus, the wind tunnel, the simulator, and the financial backing to compete at the highest level. Add Horner's leadership and Newey's design genius, and suddenly you're looking at a team that could leapfrog the established giants. And with 2026's technical reset on the horizon, this might be the perfect time to build a new dynasty. Of course, there's also Fernando Alonso to consider. At 43, the two-time world champion is still performing at a high level, but he knows his window for winning races again is closing. Horner's arrival and the possibility of Newey joining could be exactly the motivation Alonso needs to extend his career beyond expectations. But as always in F1, nothing is guaranteed. Let's put it to you, if Horner and Newey teamed up at Aston Martin, do you think they could take down Red Bull? Tell me in the comments, and if you want to be first to know when this story breaks officially, make sure you subscribe to Fast News F1. Your support is helping us push toward our 1,000 subscriber goal and bringing you closer to the inside of the F1 world. If Christian Horner really does make the move to Aston Martin, the ripple effects across Formula One will be massive. For Red Bull, it would be more than just losing a leader. It would mean handing a direct competitor one of the sharpest minds in the sport, someone who knows their strengths, weaknesses, and long-term strategies inside out. Even with confidentiality agreements in place, you can't erase the decades of experience and insight. And with Adrian Newey possibly following, Red Bull could find themselves facing their old masterminds from across the paddock. Meanwhile, Mercedes has already secured its future with a refreshed driver lineup and a technical structure aimed at long-term success. Ferrari has gone all in on the Lewis Hamilton-Charles Leclerc pairing, hoping it will spark a new golden era in Maranello. McLaren has emerged as a genuine contender, with two young drivers pushing the front of the grid. In that competitive mix, Aston Martin making a bold play for Horner signals something crystal clear. They're not here just to participate, they want to win championships. For Fernando Alonso, this could be his last, best chance at tasting victory again. The combination of Horner's leadership, knew his technical genius and Aston Martin's resources could give him a car capable of fighting at the very front. But the question for Lance Stroll is far trickier. If Horner truly has the final say on driver decisions, performance will likely speak louder than family ties. And then there's the bigger picture, Formula One itself. The sport is on the verge of another major reset in 2026, and power is shifting faster than we've seen in years. Moves like this don't just affect one team, they can reshape the entire competitive landscape for a decade. If Aston Martin pulls this off, we could be looking at the birth of a new super team that challenges the sport's traditional order. So now I'm asking you, if you had to bet on one team for 2026 glory, would it be Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, or Aston Martin with Horner at the helm? Drop your prediction in the comments. And if you've enjoyed following this story, hit that subscribe button and enable notifications so you're with us every step of the way. Your subscription helps us grow Fast News F1 and get closer to that 1,000 subscriber target while keeping you connected to the biggest stories in Formula One.